Still fighting it. It's okay.
My voice is still fighting it. It's ridiculous, but you know what? It's fine. Let's go ahead and hit people with the intro, shall we? Because that's what we do. It's another OG Live brought to you by Sleek Fleet. You know what's up. It's Thursday. It's just after 2 o'clock, and Sleek Fleet makes this happen. Alongside Joe Giglio, I'm Joe Ovias. You can check him out at sleek-fleet.com. We are in peak tailgate season, Joe, which means Sleek Fleet should be getting that work.
It's also airport run season. Tyler and the crew on getting the parents out to Scotland for Saturday.
Oh, really?
I mean, they're not driving them to Scotland. They're just getting them to the airport.
I was going to say, unless you had some amphibious vehicle I was unaware of at Sleek Fleet, that'd be pretty amazing.
They could figure that out too, probably. Just go check them out, sleek-fleet.com.
Now, we are on location today. We are not inside Eford Studios, but we're always brought to you by Copiers Plus, and you can check them out online at copiers-plus.com. We are at Nature's Relief Hemp Store off of Glenwood Avenue, Holly Ridge Drive in the Oak Park Shopping Center. You see O'Malley's, Peddler, all that fun stuff, right?
I'm pretty sure it's at OG Park Shopping Center.
Oh, much like OG Triangle Media Center, we have new signs going up across all the triangle.
Yeah.
All of the triangle.
Clearly.
And joining us right now on the Heaster Automotive Group hotline is the owner of Nature's Relief. She is Jennifer Wilson. Jennifer, what's up? Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for being a corporate champion. Here on the OG.
You're welcome.
Wait a minute. Oh, Joe, which microphone did you put this on? Hold on a second. Let's try this one. Try that one.
She's in 4.
Oh, you're in 4. Okay.
I tried to get her closer.
How about now?
How about now?
There we
There
go.
we go.
Now we're good. Now you're on the hottest mic possible. So thanks for being a corporate champion.
You're welcome.
First question I have for you is, what the hell did you give Joe today, and should I be worried?
Well, Joe got himself something.
This was dealer's choice. This is the
he got the pick. Yeah.
5 millis. This is what I get when I go to Timber Drive.
Yeah, that's the blueberry ahi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blueberry acai. That's my
Acai,
stuff.
there we
Man. I'm
go.
in it. I'm on it. Let's go.
I just figured if we're going to have to talk about the Panthers today, we might as well do it chilled out, right?
Totally. You're talking about the Panthers?
We have to talk about the
Yeah.
Panthers. I mean, they're pretty terrible right now.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
but
not just now.
although I do, yeah, they have been bad for
They've
a
been
while.
bad for a little while.
I do wonder if Dave Canales has been hitting some of these things, like the hippie sip and whatnot, because based on the press conference that I saw yesterday, that dude had to be.
It's the only way.
It's the only way to deal with the Panthers right now. So I joked. I even put it in
Yeah.
the YouTube summary that if you're gonna force yourself to watch the Panthers, you might as well make it enjoyable for yourself, and that's what you could do at Nature's Relief. You have everything from these sessionable drinks that are 5 milligrams.
Yep.
Joe's good on 1.
We're easy on those.
Yeah, take it
Okay.
easy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want another one of those.
You've got the pre-rolls. You've got gummies that I'm a big fan of.
Mhm.
And then you also have like alcohol alternative type things. I think last time we talked about
Yeah.
nowadays, you have a new kind of brand here, right?
Calamezzi.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the 5 flowers, folks.
It's from Functional Distribution.
Okay.
Sabrina does help like bringing around. I think you know who she is.
Yes.
She's 5 Flower folks. It's a completely different company. They're just distributing.
They're distributing the thing.
Mhm.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's an alcohol, substitute, so you can mix whatever drink you want.
Yeah.
We're trying to get these into like bars so they can start learning how to mix for people who just don't want alcohol.
No,
So
that's fair. That's fair. That works. So I'm always curious in talking with you because I feel like every time we do talk, there's some sort of new change in North Carolina.
Let's air some grievances.
And, look, we're a small business. You're a small business. We're all trying to help each other out. But sometimes the state can get in the way of some of those small businesses.
Yeah.
So where exactly are we on this?
I feel like we're talking today on September 12th just to make me feel better about our business life.
Yes.
It's like, Chilio, you think you have problems.
yeah, you think you have
because
problems.
you have to pay
Look,
quarterly
What
taxes.
grinds my gears. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna say what Gilio doesn't realize is that
Oh, we talk about that.
we don't have to deal with the NCGA coming up with some sort of new podcasting restriction.
yeah.
Okay, we can just do what we want, but these types of things affect you and
Every single day.
every single day. So where
yeah.
are we right now?
So right now we're being affected where our POS system has realized that we put a picture of a paraphernalia item up on our Instagram, and their GT1 whatever AI located it and froze our accounts. So yeah, well, there's this one account, but they're working with us to get it fixed. But that's just one of the things we deal with. We cannot advertise at all. Like we have an amazing social media person. Leah's been doing a great job. She's been really engaging customers, and then we had to delete everything off of Instagram because they had a problem with it. So
What is the issue? Because this stuff is legal.
you can't make any claims. They don't want any paraphernalia out at all. And that
Okay.
seems to be like across the board. And that's a new thing. So I feel like there's going to be some legislation about that. And
But when you say paraphernalia, what exactly does that mean?
rolling papers, water pipes, things used for tobacco.
For tobacco use in a tobacco state. That's very interesting.
Yes, they're used for tobacco
But, okay, but maybe I'm not
and our stuff.
looking at this correctly, but am I not looking at those things
So
right now?
this just happened actually. So this has been going on in the last 30 days.
I see.
They just notified us a couple of days ago that they had decided to change their rules and
Mhm.
we have to comply. So I kind of understand a little bit of where they're coming from because it's basically like going to a bar and walking out with a mixed drink and getting in your car.
Okay.
They can drink the drink because it's
Oh.
contained in a glass. So you can't ask for to-go drinks basically. So it's the
Well,
kind
you
of the
can
same.
now.
Yeah, but
we're
it's
working
not-
on that.
In the right
Yeah.
district. In the right district. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of the same thing is that they can come in and they can buy the pre-roll and then they can buy the lighter and then they can burn it right outside the store. And they don't want us to do that. And I can understand that. I mean,
Okay.
we're in, Oak Park and there's families that come to restaurants here and stuff like that. But we can't control other people.
I don't know about you. It just feels like perfect synergy in this shopping plaza. I come
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
I get myself a pre-roll. Next thing you know, I want to go over to Peddler Steakhouse and go take care of some business, right?
Yeah, you might even start picking up sewing because you just get by the window and you can't walk by because you're like, I got to make that.
It's like, nah, man. You know what sounds really good right now? Chicken parm. So I'm gonna get a Casa Carbone. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just find that all that kind of stuff interesting. This seems to be changing for you every couple of weeks, I guess.
Yeah, it's a weekly thing, and I feel like kind of trapped on my computer a lot, and
Mhm.
just communicating the same thing over and over and over again. Which this product is legal,
Mhm.
and it's federally legal, and it's going to be held to a federally legal standard, and we are not doing anything illegal, but we can consistently get stopped
Mhm.
and getting the word out. So
Interesting. Well, you're getting the word out with us.
yeah, you guys have been
Hopefully.
fabulous.
Hopefully, our listeners who are curious about this stuff, and I think that's ultimately what I reiterate when we talk about Nature's Relief, because I'm included in this.
Mhm.
It's gone from Kelly's old law school friends who live out in California. They bring back the stuff, because they're not checking in San Francisco on the way here.
Yeah.
They don't check about this, but I don't know anything. I don't know anything about anything when it comes to this stuff. And you guys have been incredibly helpful explaining like I'm 5 what exactly I'm buying,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry, explaining like I'm 21
20.
to understand exactly what I'm buying. And last time I was in the Western Boulevard location looking for some sleep aid.
Mhm.
There's CBD, CBD, the makeup of that,
CBG, yep.
all those things that are not psychoactive. There's no
Mhm.
you have that buzzed feeling type stuff. And then there's stuff that will, but there's also different strains that do different things.
Mhm.
And all that stuff gets explained. And so far, my experience has been, what they told me in the shop is happening. So that's
Yeah.
helpful.
So the funny thing is that hemp actually overtook cannabis sales
Mhm.
over in 2022. And now some of these companies are like, well, we can't beat them. We might as well join them.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we go to places that have legal recreational state and medical, and they have no idea what they're talking about.
Hmm.
And we're sitting there like, okay. And we have learned more from like just our staff, myself personally, but just the fact that they are interested in. I've learned more from hemp than I ever would from the cannabis industry. It's more about just pushing the product.
We've already seen a good mix of people who come in, know what they want.
Yeah.
Come in, they get it.
Mhm.
And then there's people, your staff, they do. Like when I go to Garner, it's always because you changed sodas on me.
Sorry, they got it back for you.
I know. Well, when I was over there, I was like, uh-oh. And then they explained it. No, this is this is just like the Keef. This is the 10 milligram. This is a Delta 9. You do have a 5 flowers that is only CBD.
Mhm.
So there's a lot going on there. But on the business side, one thing that kind of irks me slightly for you pay a significant amount each month for the tobacco tax, don't you, that you contribute to?
We actually don't have to pay. It's not tobacco.
Okay.
So, but we still contribute. We still have sales tax, and we're contributing our tax for our sales associates and stuff like that. They have not regulated a sales tax yet for hemp related products in the state yet, and it's not tobacco.
Okay.
So so they can't do it. The agricultural department is just really backed up. I mean, I think you got like 15 people working there, and they're like, hey, deal with this huge thing where they're selling. It's $1 billion, billions of dollar industry now. Deal with that, and that's impossible. So the state is we got to get past all this other stuff. All the things that the news. Like nobody cares that the elections, and nobody cares about the underneath stuff. So right now we're just kind of skating underneath like everything else. But we hope that that North Carolina becomes smart, and they want to utilize this industry because it is very profitable for this this state.
The state.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I
No,
mean,
we've been in the governor's office. And
Yeah.
we've had these conversations.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, I thought we've been in the governor's office. There's been no pre-rolls in the governor's
No,
office.
but
No, I don't think
We've
people
had
would like that.
conversations, and he has said to us, yes,
Yeah.
our farmers are saying,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let us know. We have investors lined up.
We're
have farmers
ready.
lined up.
Yeah.
And the hemp itself was a big boon
Yeah. Well,
for the state.
hemp is like the diet cannabis, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of people think of that it's the diet cannabis, but
Mhm.
it has more health properties than THC.
Mhm.
So they're not digging into the cannabis plant and trying to figure out how to cure cancer with it.
Sure.
Even though they have, we have journals that are documented where
I was
people have
gonna
literally
say,
cured their skin
glaucoma
cancer.
and-
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
right,
go look it up.
right.
Do your own research.
or your appetite while you're on
Yeah.
chemotherapy. So
I have never met an angry stoner. Maybe confused,
Good point.
broke,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but never angry.
Yeah,
So-
no, look, that is a valid point. As I've kind of transitioned over to what people call the Cali sober lifestyle,
Yeah.
I have also noticed. I'm like,
coming.
you know what? I don't wake up feeling like shit. Look, after a night out with this kind of stuff, so
Mhm.
I appreciate that. But it goes beyond just these THC, these
Yeah.
hemp-derived products. I know on 919 Vice recently. Oh, actually, it's been a few months. We talked about those adaptogens.
Yeah. The
right?
adaptogens. Yep.
So for those who might not be familiar with the adaptogens, what are those types of things?
So adaptogens are basically plants that have lived in just dire circumstances, and they've adapted to their environment, and they create something in them that we actually can use to help us adapt to our stressful environments. Things like ginkgo biloba, yucca root, lion's mane, all nice non-psychoactive properties. What's the really hard one? Rhodiola. I can't even remember. Ashwagandha.
yeah.
Those are all.
We're getting
Those
into
are
the
things
Aaron
that we.
Rodgers territory on
Yeah,
that.
we
one.
we're
used
doing
to chew on
ayahuasca
berries.
over here. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to chew on berries to
Right.
like do certain stuff. Like
Right.
there's, you know what I mean? It's just, and this is kind of what that product is.
Mhm.
And they're mixing a little bit of CBD and THC. Some have THC, some do not. THC has a good binding thing to our our receptors that we have. So it binds better. That's why they put a lot of, not a lot, but they put THC in some of these products.
Mhm.
But it is a hemp derived, THC. The ones that don't, they're just CBD.
Okay.
They're there for anti-inflammatory or, we can't make claims though. I have experienced anti-inflammatory properties from taking them.
You personally, but
way
results may
more.
vary.
Well,
Results
I
may
take
vary.
I take a adaptogen gummy every single morning. It's a small, like it has no THC.
Yeah.
Take it with my vitamins.
Yeah.
And I can tell a difference. I can tell a complete difference.
You have
So-
a convert here in Jacob.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can't see the screen, but his comment was, between the Panthers and state, how can people not live the Cali sober lifestyle? Otherwise, I would need a new liver.
This is true. This is a
Last
valid.
weekend
Yeah, we're
was-
here to help livers, guys. Yeah.
Last weekend was bad. It was bad for state. It was bad for
Really?
the
Oh, that's
Panthers.
sad to
Yeah,
hear.
it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. Last thing before we move on to some housekeeping and question whether or not Dave Canales is on those adaptogens. Microdosing.
Microdosing.
Is that something that you guys do as well?
Are you talking about with the
Shrooms.
cordyceps? Okay, yeah, like mushrooms kind of thing.
Yeah,
So-
not like a Last of Us situation, but yeah.
So they are available for some reason for shipping, but they're not available in the state right now. And
Okay.
it would probably just start a whole nother bag of.
You're like-
On a whole
Yeah.
nother list of
Yeah,
issues.
you're like, obvious. I got enough hoops I've got to jump.
No,
through.
well,
yeah.
there are many people. A lot of our associates microdose, and it just has really changed like a lot of their stuff. I mean, that's what they use for PTSD.
Yeah.
They're dealing with people that have been in war and seeing things that we could never imagine.
Yeah, I've read a
yeah.
couple of things about the benefits of microdosing, and I was
Yeah.
curious about where we are in the state when it comes to that. So
They're not talking about it. Like that's not. I don't hear. We hear a lot lot about it on the streets. People
Okay.
who are ordering their stuff from wherever. But I don't know how far this state's going to go on that. So
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I like that. That's a tough one to say.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Well, Jennifer, thanks for being a corporate champion. I'm glad that our audience is actually receptive to what we're doing here with you,
Mhm.
and hopefully we get some new people to show up. So we got the Western Boulevard location. You got the one out in the G. I'm missing two of them. Morrisville.
At Grace Park,
Yes. And what's the fifth one?
Smithfield.
It's Fifth Meal. Thank you.
It's by the health park. So
And
I kind of wish there was a camera on the Smithfield location.
why? What do you want to
Why?
see? There's a lot of stuff that happens there. I'd love to
Right?
fill you in anytime.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I feel like
Smith- Smithfield popping? Like,
you
what?
kind of get away from the Raleigh, the big city of Raleigh, and
Oh.
you see some of that,
Yeah.
and
Well-
it's kind of like I would love to see some of the people come in and be like, so
It was really hard. We had a lot of cops coming in.
sure. Again,
Like
that's
the
where I feel
very
like,
first day we put a flag out, these two officers came in and they were just doing their job,
Yeah,
you know,
sure,
and
yeah.
it was like, I totally respected that. But I was like, look, I can walk you through the whole store. We're not hiding anything here. And ever since then, they've been just totally chill.
Cool. That's
So-
good.
Well,
That's good.
Get him an eternal.
I don't think they can. But I just want to say thank you to you guys because you do have a very dedicated, following of really great people. So we've been
Good.
blessed to be able to meet a lot
Yes.
of them as
Good.
they walk inside this store.
Good.
So
Awesome.
And we're gonna meet more December 15th.
yes, I can't
OG
wait.
tailgate hockey.
Oh,
Yeah, you're like-
Jennifer's crew is they're like hockey virgins.
We've never been.
wait, are we
So-
having a meeting right now?
Yeah, hit the button.
Hold on.
We're having a meeting. We're having a future OG Live tailgate meeting here.
Jennifer ended up. She reached out to us. I was like, well, I could hook you up with Doug. We can have a conversation.
Yeah, we can have a conversation.
But she had a Hurricanes Angel come in and take care of some tickets for her.
Nice.
So all we have to do is provide the tailgate
Okay.
on 12/15.
You don't get, do
Well,
not touch the
He's
grill.
actually even paying for food.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A word?
So he even
you
paid for
sure?
food in the arena club. Yes. So he is like a big fan of you guys. And he's actually one of our vendors that sells a product here. So
Okay.
Awesome.
and he's just great.
Sweet.
He just wants to help people now. Like he's
Okay.
already
Oh.
past that point. He's just here to help people.
well, we'll
here
help
So-
in the parking lot.
and he loves the Canes, so he
All right.
cannot wait for this. He
I'm
has
for it.
never missed a game.
That's awesome.
That is
So-
amazing.
The Greensboro days. We found him.
He was there.
He was there.
He was
You're gonna
hiding
love
behind
him.
the black curtain. That's what was going on.
Thanks,
Jennifer,
Fred.
thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's do a little housekeeping here, brought to you by Enovana.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
We got new OG Fans content out today, both on the newsletter front and the podcast front. We got two fresh podcasts for you this week. We got an OG Stands on Business with me and Dimitri Ravanos talking about Tom Brady's Fox debut, whether or not ESPN president Jimmy Pitaro is actually in the running to be the Disney CEO. And yeah, I might have some more gripes with Pat McAfee. All of that is on OG Stands on Business. Joe, you dropped a new Law of the Wolf today with Centennial Authority Chairman Philip Isley.
We just had a conversation about me not going full Gilio.
And what did you do,
the
Joe?
very first bar I drop on our friend Philip Isley. Wolfpack ain't for soft people. Tailgating in a parking deck ain't for soft people.
I caught the intro to that when I was uploading it, and I could tell Philip Isley was like, "Damn it, Joe!
What on earth, Gilio?
Come on, Joe! I made time to come out to Eford Studios, and that's how you. That's what you do to me, man. Plus, you started hitting it with the Lenovo before it's official.
Nah, he was fine.
I
We-
know,
we,
I know,
We made
I
it
know,
work.
I know.
But no, it was a very interesting conversation, especially if you're new to the area.
Yeah,
Like I feel like I finally got to because we have you and I have conversations sometimes where we assume everybody knows the
Mhm.
history, right?
they don't.
It was kind of cool to have that conversation about how the Centennial Authority came to be,
Mhm.
how the relationship between NC State and the Hurricanes has changed.
Mhm.
I'll give away the money quote. I had asked him, well, how did this come about? Because under Debbie Yao, who we have so much respect for, it was different.
It was a little different with Debbie. This is
as,
true.
As he said about those parking spots, it was over my dead body.
Debbie never,
Over my dead body.
never would have let those things happen.
Correct.
Never.
Correct.
But it's
So
a different time.
we get into it, answering a lot of the questions. The one question I'm remiss, as my friend Steve Young pointed out, I should have asked.
Yeah.
Certainly, this district will mean the end of the 5-hour tailgate limit.
Easily.
Has to, right?
Has to.
It has to be the end of that. So
because
maybe
the whole point of that area is to be open all the
all
time.
the time. So maybe there's a concession there. I was trying to find, and Philip obviously doesn't need me to hold his hand. He can explain all this, which he does really well in the podcast.
Mhm.
What are the benefits to this for NC State?
Yeah.
Tom Dunn is going to make money.
Of course
we
he
know
is.
this.
He
This
doesn't
is
do
why
that.
he's doing it.
I was going to say, he doesn't do it unless he's making money.
And at the risk of giving away the whole episode, I was like, this is phase one. Is phase two over there on the fairgrounds? Is that where the baseball stadium is?
Fairgrounds fairgrounds are about to start getting chopped up. So be on the lookout for that. So go to ogtrianglemedia.com. You can sign up for as little as $13 a month. You can save money signing up for the year for $143. That's one free month of OG fans. And you can be part of the Founders Club for $200. You're going to get some swag goodies that come along with that. That OG Founders Club wraps up at the end of this month. So
Okay.
get on it now
you
if
got
you
time.
can. You got time. Also, new shirts. I'm rocking the
I
new
see
Breaking
it.
t-shirt.
I like that yellow. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The whole reason why I did this shirt in this color is because you have this thing for yellow.
I do. I like it.
So that's why I did the yellow. Number one. Number two, the Carolina Cougars' eyes
Does pop.
pop on the yellow with the green. So head on over to breakingt.com/OG and you can get yourself the brand spanking new OG shirt. Again, that's breakingt.com/OG. Big thanks to Longleaf Swine. You can check them out in downtown Raleigh. Look, the barbecue's fantastic. The brisket is amazing. The sides are fantastic, but do not sleep on the hamburgers. You're thinking, why am I going to a barbecue joint to get a hamburger? It's because the burger is made from the brisket.
I know you're gonna be out of town.
Yeah.
But the Gillios are in
Yes.
charge of Steve's RV tailgate food on Saturday.
Okay. Now I'm in town.
Guess what I did?
I'm actually in town this weekend, but go ahead.
Guess who I hit up?
You hit up Adam.
Adam.
Yeah.
Longleaf Swine for your tailgate needs. Got some brisket, breakfast burritos.
Ooh.
Since
Since
it's
dude, the breakfast
since
burrito
it's
is
a noon
amazing.
start,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
The potato salad, which I enjoy tremendously.
It's great stuff.
Coleslaw. Really looking forward to that. You can spruce up your tailgate by hitting up the Longleaf Swine.
Big thanks to Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. Check them out, bugsbite.com. You can bundle and save with Mosquito Authority to take care of the outside of your house, the mosquitoes. And Bugs Bite with Pest Authority, you can save money that way and take care of the inside of your house, right down to things like moisture barriers and whatnot.
I'm telling you, people with the mold and mildew, those are two things you do not want to mess with, particularly if you're getting anywhere near putting your house on the market. So the Moisture Barrier, 360 Moisture Barrier underneath my house, one of the best investments I've ever made.
Now, we've been talking about tailgating. Joe's going to be bringing the long leaf. You might not have that opportunity. You might not have a spot. No worries. Go to Breeze Through. You can park in front of the Breeze Through, first come, first serve. They'll have their food truck out there. And if you have a tailgating spot and you got to pick up ice at the last minute, you want to get into the beer cave because it's a BYOB type situation, they have a great selection at Breeze Through. So go check them out. breezethrough.com. We thank them for being an OG corporate champion. So the Carolina Panthers are back in action this Sunday. They're taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. If you thought it was bad against the Saints, what the hell is it going to look like when your nervous Bird and Justin Herbert come to town in front of nobody?
Especially, Harbaugh is going to want to run the ball.
Yes.
And the way that the Panthers could not play defense at all against the Saints. Again, we can get caught up in the Bryce Young thing and the offense and Handsome Dave and all that other stuff. To me, the most alarming thing was how bad their defense really, really is.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. And what's going to be
And now without Derek Brown.
the thing that's going to be interesting for me isn't necessarily the football that's being played on the field. This week and the way that the Panthers started the season feels like a inflection point with the city of Charlotte and David Tepper specifically, the owner of the Carolina Panthers. And there's really no reason right now for you to go. And if you don't believe me, go look at the secondary ticket market right now.
Was it $1.80?
It was at one point $1.80. We've hit the
So the
fees cost
are
more than the ticket.
Okay.
I went to StubHub to double check to see where the prices are now. Still, we are talking about an NFL game. Usually the more difficult ticket to get, usually the most expensive ticket to get, because there's only 8 of these that you get to watch, right?
Yeah.
$20 on StubHub right now. $20.
That includes the fees, or
That does not include the fees.
Okay.
So you're looking at about a $25, $26 ticket
That's
to a
on the-
football game.
By the way, that's the official secondary market.
Yes.
If you go and scalp,
Oh,
$5,
$5
$10
cash. Hell,
to get in the building.
I was going
anyway.
to say you're probably losing money if you're like, I'll hand you a hippie sip. I'll hand you one of these blueberry sodas. What about that? But you know what? We're being super pessimistic, Joe.
Yeah, we are.
We got to be
How
more.
did we find the only 4 optimistic Panther fans on Monday? That's still kind of baffling me a little bit,
I want to get to that because
especially since in retrospect, watching how New York has responded to how
Dude.
Daniel Jones and everything, I'm talking about New York Sports Talk Radio. I'm not
Yes.
talking about like anything else. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, maybe we were too hard. Then I was like, no, it was 30-3 at the half. People, what are we doing?
From Evan. Chargers -4.5. Opening line was free money. Yeah, that obviously was the case. So here's Dave Canales at yesterday's press conference. I have 3 clips from this press conference. 2 of them are like, "Whoa, buddy, what are you drinking?" Because I want to know.
Another great day. Beautiful day to get back to work, get on the field. It's so refreshing. You know, Wednesday's about work. It's about recapturing our work ethic, put the pads on, had a fantastic day of just running and hitting, just focusing on the football and trying to take advantage of the day. So love that. Love the response of the guys. Right back to work.
What a wonderful day.
Zippity doo dah.
Seriously, I feel like listening to Dave Canales is like the running the happy pheromones when you walk through the Magic Kingdom. You're gonna be happy, okay?
What's the terrible Justin Timberlake song?
Oh, Can't Fight the Feeling.
Oh, Can't Fight the Feeling.
Can't
Not even the Pharrell.
No,
Happy.
Pharrell. Yeah, I was gonna say let's talk about the original that he ripped off,
Yeah.
Happy by Pharrell. But no, when I heard his beginning,
Another great day. Beautiful day.
brought me back to I haven't seen the new Planet of the Apes movie, but there's a clip where like the head ape guy is getting ready to like start war or whatever. And he's like, "What a glorious day." That's what I thought Dave Canales sounded like. And then he doubled down on the positivity, man.
You know, my primary responsibility as the head coach is to look at the opponent coming up, to be all in. I'm gassed from this practice. It's a Wednesday. We're running. I'm hollering at both sides. Let's get this run game right. All of my energy is in today. I'm going to go in tonight, have some great meetings with the coaches and prep for third down. I really don't have a lot of energy for anything else. I hope the guys can follow that lead as well. Our focus is today. Our focus is on the next practice. Can we capture today? It's the greatest day of our lives. It's the best one we got. All of us sitting here. It's just today. That's all we got. And so I just want to be spent tonight when I go home and just have nothing left in the cup. And I hope the guys can feel that and follow that lead.
Woo. Look, and I'm not
mad at the guy.
I'm not mad at the guy.
What do we want him to do?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not
Other
mad
than
at the
cut
guy.
Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah, there's that.
I need a spike cut out of this guy.
It's not that I bring up these clips to make fun of Dave Canales. It's more out of the like, this is why I bring this up.
No.
This is why I bring this up. What do you owe knowing?
You go. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold this thought.
What I'm curious about is this is Dave Canales after 1 week after a horrendous showing against the New Orleans Saints, and everybody's checked out to the point where people don't care anymore. They're so broken by the Panthers that when the Panthers decided to do a 9/11 tribute social media post, they left the comments open. Joe, I get that it's not exactly, it's a little, we've gotten further away from 9/11 where these types of things kind of morph into just, it's kind of like Pearl Harbor where you've gotten to the point where people start to make jokes and stuff like that. The comments under that post from Panthers fans at the Panthers, like there was one that was essentially Saddam Hussein had a better defense than what the Panthers had on Sunday. It's bad when it comes to the Panthers, but that's not going to affect Dave Canales. I bring all this up because I'm curious when Dave Canales will be broken. And there's one clip from yesterday that made me go, here we go.
Maybe.
Curious how long this is going to last.
What's your relationship like with David Tepper? Have
Yeah.
you spoken with him since Sunday's loss?
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to him, and of course, these are people that I want to make proud of what we're doing here and what we're building. So it means a lot to me to make sure that I connect with him, to connect with Nicole, to be able to talk about just the state of our organization, the state of the just kind of like following up on games. I look forward to that process, so we had some good times to connect after the games. Those are private conversations, that I'll keep to myself. But, a lot of support. Happy birthday, by the way, David. Hope you're having a great time with the family.
Thought you'd enjoy that. So how many weeks do you give it till he's broken?
Well, hopefully he makes it through the whole year. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
When he was talking before, do you know who that reminds me of?
Who was that?
Russell Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm thinking to myself, if this really goes sideways this year and Bryce Young is not the answer, I'm willing to put a wager that Russell Wilson ends up being their quarterback next year. Can you imagine the two of those two happy-go-lucky,
No, man.
zippity-doo-dah bluebirds together?
Come on, man. There has to be some sort of toxic positivity, like
Can you
like the
imagine?
singularity of toxic
No.
positivity.
No, you have a good day.
No, you.
No, you.
No, you're my guy.
Oh no, you're great. It's gonna be a great day.
Attack the day, man.
Did you sleep last night? No, man.
I was spent.
I sleep when I'm dead. I sleep when I'm gone.
From Phil, if you looked as good as Dave every day, you would be fantastic too. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
absolutely.
Maybe. From Paul,
Totally.
Canales is just playing the righteous gemstones. There will come a payday someday. Someday song. Hit his head over and over and over to stay positive. From Alex, I know he's trying to put on a happy face with this, but all I can think is do less. Imagine what the players think. Man, it's just one day. Ken, this is why Beautiful Day by U2 should be in the lightning round rotation. I might have to talk to Brian about that. The Panthers aren't even healthy. That's the thing. The Panthers aren't even healthy. And joining us from Renew Physiotherapy, all part of O2, which is, Joe, more than just a gym. We got it's a good jingle.
Yeah.
Good jingle. We got JP Horan joining us now. He is part of Renew. JP, what's going on, man?
Not too much. How you guys doing?
We're good, man. Thanks for joining us. I think we're going to be doing this.
Appreciate it.
We're going to be doing this pretty frequently as we have a lot of injury stuff to get into. I think the one thing that Joe and I wanted to hit right off the bat is I think people have forgotten that when you get older and you have an Achilles tear, if it happens to me and Joe, you could probably work us back into shape on to be a functional human on a day-to-day basis. But I think we kind of forgot that to be a high-level functioning quarterback to try to make the Super Bowl, when you're approaching 40 or you are 40 and you've got this Achilles tear, whether you're Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers, there are some mobility issues you have to work through. How do you kind of see what's going on with Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of interesting because they had different surgeries and different types of tears, but it definitely is going to limit mobility. I mean, watching Rodgers Monday night, he was definitely not as willing to be moving out of the pocket. I'm sure he's worried about any sort of like truly explosive movements. Same with Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's not a mobile guy to begin with, so maybe it doesn't affect his style of play too much. But the big worry is just moving around in a quick, dynamic fashion, that side-to-side motion, backpedaling. I mean, it's just going to limit a lot of that mobility right off the bat, and probably just a worry of, re-injury to that repaired tendon.
Hopefully there's no such thing as stupid questions. But JP, what is the difference? Like, why can guys come back from like an ACL tear like in 2 weeks now? But this Achilles is still really a true, like a year-long process.
Yeah, I think a big thing is it's a lower vascularity area. So it's not getting the same kind of blood flow as a lot of areas do. And on top of that, especially from a professional sports standpoint, they're just doing these crazy explosive motions, which takes so much force through that calf muscle and down into the Achilles. So I think that makes it that much more difficult to come back. Whereas with the ACL, there's a lot more that goes around that knee joint that you can strengthen and get stable and just come back a little easier. But there's just a lot of force going through that foot and the ankle that makes it tough for the Achilles to come back to normal.
So JP Horan, he's with Renew Physical Therapy, all part of O2 Fitness. They're part of our corporate champions now. He is a doctor of physical therapy, clinic director at the Chapel Hill location. I am curious, though. I mean, we can sit here and be like, how in the world do people expect Aaron Rodgers to be at this level? How in the world do people expect Kirk Cousins to be at this level? There's a flip side to this. If this were 20, 30 years ago, are they even out on the field right now?
That's a good question because, I mean, Rodgers was talking about coming back last year.
JP,
if there was a playoff.
JP, come on, man. Don't fall for the Aaron Rodgers reality show, man. There was no way that dude was going to be back by Christmas. There was no way.
I don't think so either. But it's interesting because I just think there's so much more that goes into rehab that, like you said, 20, 30 years ago, people probably weren't getting, physical therapy, massage therapy, this, that, and the other thing for treatment several times a day. Where these guys now, I mean, their life revolves around getting back to sport, especially for their livelihood. So I think that helps expedite the process when you have, clockwork therapy as your job. It's just a lot easier to come back. And yeah, that's kind of my main thing. Go ahead.
Potentially a more esoteric question here. Someone like me who's fat and out of shape and old, you would expect them to get hurt, right? Christian McCaffrey is like a paragon of fitness.
Yeah.
Yet, since you're my corporate champion, I'll clean up my language. This guy's hurt like every other day.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? How could you be that fit and like genetically engineered, for goodness sake? His dad's a former player. I think his mom was a swimmer or a triathlete. Like, how is this guy continuously breaking down?
Good stock, Joe.
Yeah, you'd think with those kind of genetics and the way he looks, he'd never get injured. But I think these guys just move. They're so strong. They're so fast. They're able to cut and jump and stop on a dime and then go in another direction so quickly that it's so easy for our body to break down moving at those high speeds, no matter how strong you are. So you can do these guys are doing everything in the book to stay healthy, stay fit, stay on the right nutrition. But they're just moving so darn fast that I think that's a huge component to breaking down like that.
There's still a car accident element to this too, right? Playing running back in the NFL. I mean, the speed and the violence of the collisions are just, there's only so much you could even do. Maybe he needs a hippie sip or something to add something to his system because he's too pure, man.
CMC is interesting too. I saw something that said he had over 400 touches last year. So if you think about that over the course of one season, that's just a crazy amount of time on the field and just how many hits he took on those 400 touches. It's tough to see a world where he doesn't get nicked up here and there.
So the other curiosity that I had before we say goodbye, and we appreciate the time. Hopefully we can keep doing this as the season goes on because it's football. We're gonna be dealing with some kind of injury and whatnot. So over with North Carolina, Omarion Hampton was held out of the remainder of the game in their win against Charlotte. And then my guess is I don't think they're going to need him against Central this weekend. But, the running back was on a bike. Typically it's like, all right, you want to keep him out of action, but why is he on the bike? What is it about the bike that seems to be this kind of like special tool that you'll see on the side of a football field, or why hockey players immediately get on a bike when the game is over? What are the magical healing powers of a bike in the middle of a game?
I don't know if I have the answer to magical healing powers of a bike, but generally, especially mid-game, the guys might hop on there. Let's say you roll your ankle a little bit. It's not feeling great. The bike's at least going to get some blood pumping, get you moving on a pretty low weight bearing to no weight bearing kind of way. So I think that's generally what you see people using it for, just get blood pumping or to stay warm, stay active, like with Hampton. During the game, he probably just wanted to stay moving a little bit, not avoid some cramping, that kind of thing. I don't think there's a magic to it, but it definitely helps keep the blood pumping and avoid stiffening up during a game.
I don't know. Maybe we got to get Giglio a bike so his neck is not so stiff. He's got the blood flowing while he's trying to do the show.
I have my app.
Not a bad idea.
From Renew Physiotherapy.
Yeah.
Not only does it have my exercises on there, there's a video that shows me just in case if I had forgotten Krista's unbelievable instructions on Monday. So I'm a big fan of the app, sir. I got to tell you.
I'll look you up in the system and add the magic bike to your treatment.
There we go. I got my foam roller. I got my towel going. I got some good things.
Man. I love that. Sweet. Hey, JP, we appreciate the time, man. And we'll maybe talk to you next week. And hopefully we'll get some more more information on guys like Jonathan Brooks, who theoretically could come back and help the Panthers, that kind of stuff. We'll get into all that later.
Sounds good. I appreciate your time. Go all Bills.
Right. Oh, boy. Don't say that to a Dolphin fan. Come on now. Although I did jot this down for later, it is kind of a must-win for the Dolphins today.
Must-win.
It's week 2, but it's kind of a must-win against the Bills. We are there. We'll see what happens. All right,
cool,
man.
guys.
Take it
Thank
easy.
you.
Take it easy. So again, that's JP over at Renew. You can go to o2fitnessclubs.com to find out more. You got again, it's more than just a gym. They've got great gyms. Don't get me wrong. I go to the Seaboard Station location. Joe is now at Renew to get that neck worked on. And of course, they've got Loop Nutrition, and you can go to o2fitnessclubs.com to find out more and get yourself right. Big thanks to Homefield for sponsoring us. Check them out at homefieldapparel.com. Use the promo code OG24 to save 15% off your order. Got an email today from Homefield. They're dropping new corduroy hats.
What?
It's fall. You got to break out the corduroy. They got flat bill corduroy hats with the script of your favorite teams.
Old
I
school.
saw Duke in there. I saw NC State in there. Maybe you get the corduroy hat to go with that Iowa coach's jacket.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
So go on over to homefieldapparel.com. Use that promo code OG24. We've been talking a lot about tailgating today. Go to the Butcher's Market, butchersmarkets.com, thebutchersmarkets.com. You can get signature steak tips. They've got chicken. They've got all sorts of meats ready to go out of the glass case, or you can just get something straight out of the fridge, cut it the way you want it to, and then you can do what you want with the various rubs, marinades. Obviously, you can smoke things. They've got it all there at the Butcher's Market. So check them out online at thebutchersmarkets.com. And
Home
if you're
base on Lake Boone is completely functional now. By
I
the way.
saw
like
that.
completely, totally. You're gonna drive by there and go, "Why? I didn't know there was a butcher's market there." And then you say, "Yeah, they talk about it on the OG all the time, man. That's the OG epicenter."
That's the easiest place to get your sandwiches too.
Correct.
That's the best part about that one. And the other best part about that home base location, it's right by Two Roosters. So you go, you get your sandwiches, you get your meats, you get yourself a pint of ice cream, take it home, do what you want with it. Or you could be like Joe and get gallons of your favorite ice cream.
Or did you see the trick I pulled yesterday?
What did you do? I did not see this trick.
I finally made it to September because the peanut butter cookie, while still delicious, and I still have a good supply.
Yeah.
I made it over to the Lake Boone location yesterday. I got the fudge mint brownie.
Ooh.
It is their mint ice cream that they have literally just jammed full brownies into and mixed in.
That sounds good.
It's amazing.
That sounds really
I
good.
knew that was going to be my winner in September, and I was right.
Love it. I love it. I did want to get back to the NFL for a hot minute, get back to our conversation about the Carolina Panthers. And you referenced something earlier when we were talking about the weird state of where things are with fans. And I understand from a certain perspective, people tune in because they want to feel good. I mean, heck, we have a whole thing that says positive vibes only. But positive vibes only are only going to take you so far. That's kind of why I played those Dave Canales clips, because I'm really curious when this whole I want to be sprung at the end of the day. What a glorious day. When that's going to fade over time if the season continues on the current trajectory based on week one. All right. It can get worse.
Always.
It can always get worse. They won 2 games last year. They could win 0 games this year based on what we've seen so far. Now, the one thing that's been telling is in the comment sections on YouTube or some of the emails that we got for the OG mailbag, which will come out tomorrow for OG fans, or just on social media, there's been a little bit of pushback in. There's way too much being put on Bryce. You're right and you're wrong at the same time. The Panthers holistically suck. I really don't know how else to put it. They're bad. It's a bad team with compounding mistakes. The bill is due. All right. Mike K from the Charlotte Observer. I feel like we talked about that for 2 off seasons. The trade, we talked about that with Walker Mel yesterday. As much as you want to move on from the trade, you're still dealing with the repercussions of the trade, which, Joe, before we move forward, I want you to tell me something good.
Well, I can tell you something good about the Carolina Panthers, Joe.
Tell me something good.
It is today, Thursday, September 12th. Panthers are winless, 0-1 on the season.
Yeah.
However, they still have their first round pick in the 2025 NFL draft.
Hey, who says we're negative Nancy's all the time? We just told you something good. Just told you something good. Now, back to Bryce Young and why I need people to understand that his performance, his production is historically bad, to the point where, while yes, the defense sucks. Yes, David Tepper is a bad owner. All these things are true, but so is the fact that Bryce Young is on a historically bad trajectory coming off a rookie season.
Anytime you're compared to Jamarcus Russell, you're in trouble.
So I went to the studio before I came over here real quick because I thought I had the football almanac with me. But I'm like, no, damn it, I don't have it on me.
It's very handy.
So this is very handy. This is when you people like you, Joe, and some others go, oh shit, is Ovius about to get football-y? Yeah, you hate it when I get football-y. The CEO, chief executive vibes man over here has to get football-y from time to time. And I'm going to read you this verbatim. Okay, because I don't want to.
Before even the first game.
This is before the season. I get these in July. Okay. I'm going to read this verbatim. I want to give all the credit to Football Almanac. Aaron Schatz does a wonderful job with this thing. Young's negative 1,078 passing DYAR was the third worst ever recorded, just beaten out by the rookie years of Josh Rosen and David Carr. Young was regularly beaten, battered, and bruised behind a makeshift offensive line. Sixth all-time with 62 sacks taken. Third all-time with 477 yards lost. When his spongy and swollen body did manage to get the ball off, it went nowhere. His 9.1 yards per completion was the 9th lowest ever. Take the sack yards away from his completions, and Young netted just 4.1 yards per dropback, which counts as an utter disaster. Adjusted for era, that's the 10th worst season ever
Last year.
Okay, last year. Not that his 5.5 yards per attempt without sacks was much better. That's one of the 20 worst seasons of all time. All time. Okay, not last year, not in the last 5 years. We're talking about all time adjusted for era. That's one of the checkdowns, throwaways, and sacks were the three prongs of the Carolina offense. All this led to the Panthers having the second worst year in franchise history in both overall and offensive DVOA. Only the, wait for it, 2010 Jimmy Clausen-led team managed to slip below last year's minus 35.3% mark. It put them firmly in the bottom 30 all time, not last year, not the last decade, all time, both overall and on offense. This was a team so non-competitive, they led for a grand total of 0 seconds in the fourth quarter all season long. Both of their wins came on field goals as time expired. So can you recap the names that I just gave you? Jimmy Clausen, Josh Rosen, David Carr. And here's another issue. You brought up Jamarcus Russell. This came from CBS Sports, NFL and CBS.
Ooh, now you're in trouble. But this isn't like some fringe publication.
No. This is not my weird little Bible of football-y, right?
Yeah.
First 17 NFL starts. Bryce Young, Zach Wilson, Jamarcus Russell. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can see the graphic that they put up. They're nearly identical. Bryce Young, Zach Wilson, Jamarcus Russell. So let's go over the names again. The number one pick in the draft that the Panthers sold out to get is putting up numbers with categorically some of the worst quarterback performances we have seen in NFL history. So I need somebody to explain to me why I should be like, guys,
It's not Bryce.
let's give Bryce a chance. You don't have that chance in the NFL.
Well,
don't.
I think he'll get this full season. I think last
He
year
will.
he got,
He will.
obviously, it's first year. I think he gets this full season.
Mhm.
And if he continues to be on this trajectory, he won't be the quarterback moving forward. Pretty simple.
Yeah, man. It's not good. It's really not good. I don't know. Maybe we can get some odds on whether or not Bryce Young will be the next quarterback of the Panthers or the quarterback of the Panthers next year. Big thanks to DraftKings for being a corporate champion. You can check them out by downloading the app today and using the promo code OG24 if you are a new customer. New customers who use the promo code OG24 will get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, and you'll get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. And look, it's not just about the straight up lines, okay? It's about first touchdown, quarters,
Anytime.
anytime touchdowns, whatever you want to call
Receiving
it, right?
yards, passing yards, rushing yards. Who scores first? Who scores next?
They got
Yes.
it.
First
It's
quarter,
all there.
second quarter.
So if you're ready to place your first NFL bet, try betting on something really, really simple, like a player to score, like Bryce Young. Maybe he'll throw another touchdown this weekend. Maybe. I don't know. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Right now, the Chargers, at least the last time I saw, they're -6.5.
It's creeping up.
I mentioned with JP the Dolphins and the Bills. I was not being facetious when I said that this is a must-win for the Dolphins, because the Dolphins, with Tua Tagovailoa and the contract they just gave out and how last year went, you got to beat teams that are good. It's really easy to run that Maserati on bad teams. Clearly, that's what Mike McDaniel can do. He's got a wonderful sports car on really easy conditions. But the minute you got to take that thing on a gravel road, don't fall asleep, Joe. Don't fall asleep. That blueberry acai is kicking in. I can tell. Don't fall asleep.
No falling asleep.
Don't fall asleep on the podcast today. I'll be really curious to see how they look tonight. The advantage the
They
Dolphins
have
do
no
have.
running back tonight.
No, that's right, because
I mean,
Mostert is.
Mostert's definitely out.
He's out.
A-Chain is questionable,
Questionable.
doubtful.
Yeah.
So
At least they're at home, though. At least they're at
the
home.
NFL keeps getting this wrong, by the way. Why don't they play the game in Buffalo first, when it's warm in Buffalo, and then play the rematch, the division rematch in Miami
I don't know. That's a good question.
when it's cold in Buffalo? They get this wrong, I feel like, every year.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know why they do that. We got the Giants and the Commanders. Why am I bringing this up?
I have no idea.
Well, I'm curious if the Giants lose again, according to Julian Edelman, who was on with Colin Cowherd this week, Bill Belichick would be really interested in that Giants job.
Yeah, of course.
So your boy, Dable, who you sang his
Yes.
praises,
I did that first year.
it's gotten real
Yeah.
in New York. Well, for both teams, really.
Well, and now it wasn't his choice. Jones wasn't his choice. He just
No.
made Jones look good his first year.
They got to move on from Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
They got
I
to
mean,
move
that's
on.
obvious.
It's fairly obvious. I'll take the odds on Bill Belichick being the replacement coach for Dable midway through the
Yeah.
season. I'll take those.
No,
I'll take
no.
those odds.
You think he wants to come back that quickly?
Yes, I think you wanted to coach this year, but nobody wanted the old man.
Okay.
Everybody was going in a younger direction. They didn't want to deal with Bill Belichick's typical hands-on approach to these things. I think he still wants to coach. Otherwise,
no, he obviously
he
wants
would
to
not
coach.
be as available as he is for
Yeah.
every media outlet. I mean, I almost feel like he could do a podcast for us at this point.
I mean,
Just
as
saying.
long as we ask about Navy lacrosse, I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's
he
a good point. Saints and boys. Can I get odds on who will come crashing down to earth in this one? Because, the Saints are feeling good after taking it to the Panthers.
Right.
Meanwhile, we're in the we them boys cycle.
We are.
Super Bowl contenders, Joe. So one of these teams is going to come back down to earth. Dak had a great game against the Browns. Is that coming back down to earth? Something to be seen.
They're back at home. You do a little bit more of that pressure now, but I like the Cowboys in this one.
Meanwhile, we've got the Steelers and the Broncos. Russ is not playing in the win one for the Rust Bowl. We ain't going to stick it to Sean Payton in this game. Can Justin Fields avenge for his boy? Will there be a handshake between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson?
No,
Because Russ will be suited up.
Yeah, there will be, because Russ will have the fake. It'll be so good to see. So good to see.
Meanwhile, we got the Bears and the Texans as well, which I am dubbing the why can't you be like CJ Stroud Bowl, Caleb. See, this guy did it last year.
Yeah,
You should be doing it this year.
Just don't watch if you're a Panthers fan.
I
Not
know.
Stroud, but both of them.
I
will just be
know.
like,
I know.
damn it.
So check out DraftKings. Use that promo code OG24. You put $5 down, you get $250 in bonus bets, which you can use for all sorts of fun things like futures and whatnot. So again, go check them out. DraftKings.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.
Big thanks to Happy and Hail. You can check them out. Download the app. Our guy Zach actually went to Happy and Hail for lunch today. Used the app, saved a bunch of time. That's the beauty of Happy and Hail. So download that app today and get some great food at Happy and Hail.
Take a break. Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hill.
I was at Happy and Hale.
I was there yesterday.
You were there. What did you get there yesterday?
I got my chicken Thai crunch.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good
Thai
stuff.
peanut crunch.
That's really, really good stuff. I go and I look at the other menu items. I used to be the poke bowl guy with the yum yum sauce.
Yeah.
But I've been on a Bueno bowl kick. You can't go wrong with the Bueno bowl.
All the options: steak, chicken.
You can do all those
burgers.
options. It's probably the most customizable bowl they have there because you can go brown rice if you want, which is the base thing, or you can go with the greens if you want to. All sorts of ways you can make it happen at Happy and Hale. So go check them out. Big thanks to Hometown Realty. Check them out online at myhtr.com. With Hometown Realty, you can buy and sell with confidence. Joe, I know you've got a little Delta 9 in you, but I know even with Delta 9 in you, you don't want to take a guaranteed offer.
No, don't make a mistake with your house. Your number one investment, your priority. Make the most money that you can. Go with the experts in the area. That's Hometown Realty, myhtr.com.
The Pac-2 is about to be the 6-pack, Joe.
What a weird announcement. We're adding 4 teams from the conference that we're sleeping with right now, but we're not going to marry that conference. Instead, we're going to steal their family.
So according to an ESPN report, Mountain West bylaws require schools that are leaving to pay an exit fee of roughly $18 million with 2 years notice. And the Pac-12 is expected to help with the money to leave. The Pac-12 would also reportedly be subject to paying $43 million in poaching fees, as outlined by the scheduling agreement between the conferences that allowed Oregon State and Washington State to play football games this year against the Mountain West. Think about this.
At least the Mountain West had the wherewithal to do that.
Yes, we're like, look, cool, we got you. You need people to play. However, if this if this is one of these,
Trojan horse,
actually, the reason why we're scheduling this is so we can steal your team.
Trojan beaver,
right?
Oregon State's the Beavers. They don't have USC in the Pac-12 anymore.
I understand that.
Oh, Trojan's a condom and Beaver's
Trojan beaver makes me wonder. What else is being? What else has been? You're sneaking. I don't know. Just saying. Something to consider. I hadn't really put it that way. Trojan beaver. Anyway,
Trojan Coug. Trojan Cougar. That works too.
I have so many jokes that I can make. No, Carolina Cougars. That's
Breaking T, Ovius and Giglio.
That's what we're talking
about. Don't accept any imitations, by the way.
Yeah, don't do the knockoffs, baby. Don't do the knockoffs. No, so what's funny about this is that the Pac-12, according to the Washington Post, pointed this out. The Pac-12 is in a financial position to make these expensive moves, thanks in large part to the settlement agreement with the 10 schools that left the league. Look, I know that Brett Yormark is viewed as the wild and crazy one, wheeling and dealing. He's trying to add UConn. Gonzaga was thrown out there for basketball purposes and everything else. But props to Oregon State and Washington State. You want to talk about movie theater popcorn. Joe, you got to respect this. You got to respect what they did in adding these schools.
Well, they've added 4 schools: Boise State, Fresno State, Colorado State. What's the other one?
San Diego State.
San Diego State.
Yeah, so it's Colorado State, California State, Fresno, San Diego State, which they're all states.
Yes, Washington
they're
State,
all
Oregon
states,
State. Yeah.
which means I feel like we have to remove Matt Davis from the Big 12 Association. And we must now have a State Farm, all state 12. Okay. Because they're all states. State Farm.
I see it.
Oregon State, State Farm, Colorado State, State Farm, Fresno State. Matt Davis, congratulations. We've just gifted you a new conference.
Yeah. No, see, but I don't like this by the Pac-12. I don't know what their alternatives were.
Yeah.
But this is what the Big East did. Remember back in the day, they would just kept losing schools.
Yeah.
And they would add lesser schools back and act like, well, no, these 4 schools that we're adding are really good. And it's like, yeah, I mean, they're good, but so you're not replacing at the level that you lost.
So I am those sneaky beavers.
Sneaky Trojans.
Yeah, AT, sneaky beaver. From Alex, Trojan Beaver, title of your sex tape show.
Well, apparently Shannon Sharp took care of that today. So
He was hacked, Joe.
Hacked?
He was hacked.
Is that what it was for real?
Yeah. Everybody just leaves their phone recording on top of a nightstand
Dresser.
while things are going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely what happened. I did.
No, there's no new ideas in podcasts, I've been told.
No, there's not. I actually clicked on the social media link. Like, what is this? Oh, he said that. Okay. Like I said, there's something on the internet for everybody,
everyone.
man.
Mhm.
That's what it's all about. So anyway, that's the pack 2 becoming the 6-pack. From what do we got here? From Paul, 6-pack after dark. We are so back. That sounds like a Chip Patterson special. So anyway, now when we talk about anybody that comes from this this new 6-pack, they got to get 2 more teams in order to become FBS.
And there's a lot of talk about Texas, like North Texas.
Yeah,
Potentially Texas State or somebody else.
it's got to be state. You got to keep it consistent.
right.
I'm sorry.
Texas State's sneaky good in football.
Yeah, they are. Are they the Armadillos?
The Bobcats.
No, that was the movie.
Oh.
What was the name? It was Necessary Roughness.
There you go.
With
Kathy Ireland.
Kathy Ireland is the kicker.
Sinbad.
I have dubbed this weekend in college football, don't do anything stupid
Yeah.
weekend.
There's a lot of big numbers on the card this week, which means we have a lot of mismatches.
Yeah, this is not what we've seen the first 3 weeks of the season in college football. Week 0, week 1, week 2. Week 3, things kind of dial back a little bit. Locally, you're seeing Duke trying to get to 3-0 against UConn. Very attainable for the Blue Devils. With North Carolina, it's just about finding that rhythm and identity on your offense now that you know that Connor Harrell is your QB. I did it right. There's 2, what's going on here games in the ACC. One of them is existential. The other is how are they going to do this again, right? You want to start with existential, or do you want to start with the how are we going to do it again? That's Florida State, Memphis.
After a week off and those 2 losses, they have to show up for this football game.
If Florida State doesn't bring the hammer to Memphis, there's going to be, I think, even more second guessing about what's going on with DJU, more second guessing with Mike Norvell. And hey, man, this whole transfer portal thing worked for you last year, but we've had this recurring conversation. Not every transfer portal class is going to hit. It's easier to understand in basketball, right? Usually you're going to find somebody that's going to contribute in the transfer portal. But when you're doing wholesale changes like Florida State had to, it's a little bit harder to pull off. So if they don't put the hammer down on Memphis, I'm going to be really curious to see how people handle this.
Memphis is a pretty good team too, by the way. This is not going to be a walk in the park.
No.
Vegas is begging you to take Florida State in this game, by the way. I gotta believe that they're going to show up for this football game. I kind of sort of refuse to believe that they won't.
Meanwhile, over at NC State, it's about showing this offense against Louisiana Tech, showing something with this offense going forward. Otherwise, people are going to start getting very antsy and will require multiple trips to Nature's Relief just to be able to enjoy Wolfpack games going forward.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech 3-9 the last 2 years under Sonny Cumbie. So this is a game that State should get right in. Dave Doran is 23-2 against Group of 5 teams, by the way, both of those losses being to ECU.
Yeah.
So normally in these situations, Dave takes care of business. This is another one of those situations too, where after the embarrassing loss to Tennessee, 51-10, he said, now no one's going to say anything nice about you from now on.
That's what they love.
And he needs to use that to his advantage. He's shown us that before. The offensive line really needs to be fixed. Now, remember last year, I said the same thing after the Duke game. They were able to make some personnel changes. I didn't see any changes in the depth chart. That doesn't mean they won't try something different on Saturday against Louisiana Tech. But 21.5-point favorites, I do think they cover this number.
Okay. And then other than that, I was looking at the board, just not a lot of meat out there for college football, which means somebody's going to get beat.
Yeah.
We're going to have another Notre Dame, Northern Illinois type game that comes out this weekend. But again, Joe, it doesn't matter because the college football playoff expanded. They're still in the race, man.
Everybody's still in the race.
Everybody's still in the race.
There's 3 games in particular that I think are interesting. You got Alabama, Wisconsin.
Okay.
That could be a welcome to your new life, Wisconsin type of deal.
Oh, is this the John Shire Duke? Hey, man. This ain't Coach K showing up to PNC Arena.
You're not getting those same calls.
Yeah, you ain't getting that thing.
Could be quite interesting. Caitlin DeBoer's new too. You know what I mean? Like this isn't.
Yeah.
But Caitlin DeBoer actually has experience coaching against the Big Ten. So this will be interesting to see how he handles one of those name brand intersectional matchups.
Yeah.
But truth of the matter is Alabama should go in there and roll. The other ones that I'm interested in, Ole Miss down at Wake Forest. You know, Dave Clawson will have this team prepared, but man, what a difficult way to lose last week for Wake Forest, losing to Virginia in a game where they really poured it out. It's going to be difficult for them to be ready for this game, even with a top 10 team coming to Winston-Salem. This is a real chance too for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss to show, kind of like Tennessee last week with State.
Yeah.
We're going to go out of the league and take care of what we need to do out of the league, just in case it becomes a factor on Selection Sunday.
So you got that Roback on today. You got your peaches on today.
I got my peaches out in Roback.
You didn't golf today, did you?
No.
You just
No.
rocking it today?
A lot of podcasting today.
You have done a lot of podcasting
A
today.
lot of reps. Those reps.
We got more podcasts tomorrow, Joe.
We do.
We got that OG mailbag. So get on that. Get on the Roback bandwagon if you haven't yet. Go to roback.com. Use that promo code OG20. Save 20% off your order. For those who will be participating in the OG Golf Classic, you'll actually have access to Roback. Be a lot of fun. But more importantly, look, the weather's going to change. I'm looking outside. I'm seeing the leaves kind of change a little bit as we get closer to the fall. Heck, I'm spending a lot of time in the hockey rink right now. Hoodies are incredibly comfortable.
Always cold. Yes.
Look, all I know is that the OVS house is well stocked in the hoodie game. And Roback has a different feel to it. It's a little bit of a lighter feel, a little bit more of a performance hoodie, which I really, really like. And I'm looking forward to be rocking that as the temperatures get a little bit cooler. Big thanks to Whitaker and Hamer as well. Check them out online at Whitaker at wh.lawyer, attorneys and counselors at law. I feel like in our LLC agreement, I'm going to put in that you're only allowed to do shows on 5 milligrams of
I can handle
Delta 9. I don't even know if you can handle that.
5
buddy.
millis.
I don't
I
know,
can't handle
dude.
10. I know that.
Well, last time you did that, you fell asleep on the chair.
Yeah.
You got comfortable.
So
So
it was like a
you were just slowing down, man. You were just slowing down. But I might have to talk to our friends at Whitaker and Hamer to put that in the contract.
5 milli.
5
the
millis
limit.
only.
A milli.
Positive vibes only. 5 millis only when it comes to Joe Giglio and when we hang out at Nature's Relief. Just saying. So again, big thanks to Whitaker and Hamer. Check them out online at wh.lawyer. Again, that's wh.lawyer. All right, let's get out of here on some Hey Joe. Let's go to the YouTube comment section before we go to the OG Sports Phone. From Heel, that 15 seconds of silence on the Yankees broadcast made me very uncomfortable. It did last a while. A lot of reaction to our conversation with Jimmy Riles, the assembly, and his piece on Kinston baseball. The Down East Wood Ducks heading to South Carolina as Granger Stadium just is not up to date the way that minor league baseball wants it or Major League Baseball wants it. From John Henry, I missed the old Carolina League when I first started going to games. It was the Winston-Salem Red Sox, the Kinston Indians, the Durham Bulls, etc. Winston-Salem played at Ernie Shore Field. Wake Forest plays there now. Again, there's a little romanticism about some of these games. Let's see, from Try Guy, the experience at the Salamanders games in Holly Springs is great. Yeah, nice facility. It's a different kind of game that you're getting involved in. From Jacob, the new minor league baseball guidelines helped Wilson get the Mudcats from Zebulon. Looking forward to that coming to Wilson. Yeah, there's parts of that. I get that. And of course, we had a lot of reaction to the tailgate stuff, the new entertainment district that was revealed in renderings yesterday.
Well, but wait a second. We can't celebrate Zebulon's loss.
No.
And Wilson's win here.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Five County Stadium, man. It's a classic ballpark. Got a lot of great memories at Five County Stadium.
Sure.
It's gonna be kind of a bummer to see that shut down. But let's get to some of the reaction yesterday from the
Tailgating?
the tailgating
Oh, boy.
stuff.
I might not be ready for this.
It was actually kind of fun. Let's go ahead and get to the OG Sports Phone, shall we?
I just turned lose today. The team is Jose, sports gold wide open.
You can call the sports phone at 919-444-2211. Let's see what we got.
Comment on your guys' discussion on the proposed renderings of the new upgrades at the Lenovo Center and Carter Finley Stadium. I've been tailgating in those arena lots for years, and I see this as nothing but an upgrade. I don't see this being an issue, and I know that some state fans do have an issue with the parking deck aspect of it, and, you know, trying to look like, you know, our rivals down the road or whatever, but I see this as an upgrade. I think it's a much needed thing. I think it provides a congregation. I think that has long needed an upgrade. It's very underwhelming at best. But I don't have a problem with this, and I know this is only phase one of it. And, you know, if they had continued to expand and, like you guys talked about, hotels and all that kind of stuff, I probably wouldn't be in favor of that. But if this is all they're going to bring, as far as, you know, more parking and more tailgating opportunities, I do not have a problem with it.
I think that call was a more rational response to some of the stuff that we've seen online. I know you talked to Philip Isley about it on Law of the Wolf. The one thing that I'll be curious about, as the caller mentions about phase one, I am curious how phase two is going to look.
Yeah.
I am curious what they're going to be doing around the fairgrounds, because they do have access to that.
Yeah, phase one does include a hotel, though. The building on the front between the two, between the arena and stadium, is earmarked for a hotel.
That's fair.
That will be there in the first one.
I'm actually kind of upset at ourselves. So this comes to us from Todd from the Mountain.
Todd.
He's like, he asked, why are the rendered State fans doing the surrender Cobra while watching State beat UNC a year ago? I will admit, while we were doing yesterday's show, I wasn't quite paying that much attention to the individual fake fans in the rendering. Okay. So here's the first one that he highlighted. And sure enough, there's this person doing a surrender Cobra while watching a game. If you look down there closely, you can see it's North Carolina and NC State. But I also wondered, why is that
surrendering, or is she putting her hair up?
I think here's the thing. Look at the other people doing the surrender Cobras. We got one. Todd went ahead and he circled them. We got a guy here. We got a guy here. We got dudes down here, right? We have another person doing this, all while they're watching NC State. Yeah, we got a guy here.
So they must be real Carolina.
We got a guy here.
Yeah.
What's going on? What is up with all these people with the surrender Cobras?
A wolf in sheep's clothing.
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
But I also had the same thought too as one of our listeners. This is from Raleigh's Red. And what is Will Smith doing here? But look, you're watching the delayed YouTube.
Yeah.
Look. What is Will Smith doing here?
Somebody was having fun. They're Sergeant Peppers, man.
Look, all I know is that if that's really Will Smith, he would tell you, you keep Carolina out your damn mouth. That's what he would tell you. Otherwise, he might slap you. Speaking of surrender Cobras, shout out to our guy Miller over at the Duke Mayo Bowl, Duke Mayo Classic. I was digging through some photos on Saturday and thought of you guys. And this might be, I don't know who took this photo. Clearly, Ethan did not take this photo. But Joe, tell me that doesn't belong on Wolfpack Ain't for Soft People highlight montages.
He lost his pants?
No, he's fine.
Oh,
Mr. Wolf is just really in pain right there watching this.
Yes.
He's clearly in pain. He's clearly in pain. You're watching a little bit on the delay there. Shout out to Andrew, who took my red nipple photoshopping skills to the next level. Lenovo is now, it's official today, Lenovo Center. They've actually put out the renderings of what the signs will look like when it's all completed by next week. PNC Arena's no more. I said, I need to see the red nipple face-off circle, right? Now, Andrew said he's really excited for Kevin Keats' new blazer, and it's nothing but red nipples on that red blazer. Let's go. Let's go. And we will get out of here on this. This is from Rodney. I recommended Ovi's and Giglio podcast to a friend, and it failed. The parent van trip with a bunch of parents and kids disrupted because Giglio drops F-bombs over and over. If you guys want to be Barstool, go there. Hope you mark that explicit. Disappointing. Okay. Now I've interacted with Rodney a little bit. He's like, look, I ain't trying to start beef. I'm just telling you these parents that were upset. I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, fine. A couple things about this as it relates to the cursing. I can't control Giglio. I try to keep the cursing to a minimum because sometimes I think it can be a little too performative.
Sure.
I do believe that a lot of podcasts go through this phase where, oh, I'm not restrained by the FCC anymore, so I'm gonna get edgy, and you get a little too edgelord in those situations. If the F-bomb warrants it, cool. Sometimes I think people forget the jersey comes out of you while you're having a normal conversation. That's different.
Yes.
That is different. Okay. But if you want to trigger me, I'm going to admit something here.
Okay.
If you ever,
Is this the home field read?
it's not.
Okay.
If you ever want to irk me, if you ever really, I feel like I should have reached for a 5 flowers right now. I should find something to chill me out. If you ever want to really piss me off, tell me that we're trying to do something Barstool, or my favorite, well, Barstool already did this. Let me explain something to you, okay? All Barstool did and does is sports talk radio where they can curse. I remember having a conversation with Will Brinson damn near 15 years ago. I having drinks with him. He's like, oh man, Barstool this. And I'm not going to let me listen to this. They were doing top 4 at 4s. They just called them Mount Rushmores. The only difference was they were doing all these radio bits. All of them are radio bits. The only thing that was different about their radio bits versus our radio bits was they weren't constrained by the FCC. So if they wanted to drop an F-bomb in there, they could. And, we don't need to get into the problematic nature.
Did they do the car thing where if you sleep inside the car, the last person who stays in the
No,
car?
they also did things like Charlotte, WFNZ. Again, we've evolved over time. WFNZ back in the day used to do something called the Tournament of Charlotte Babes. Okay.
Sure. Yeah,
So-
you had the
We had
Buzz
the,
Babes.
we had Buzz Babes. So Barstool started putting up
Buzz
pictures
Babes.
of women
yes.
to draw attention. The Big League did the same thing. Y'all did not invent problematic behavior while talking about sports. No, sports talk invented that. Okay. You just took it online. So if you ever want to piss me off, act as though, well, Barstool does that. No shit. We did it first.
I think I made it through this whole episode today.
You did. Now
Did I?
I'm cursing.
Okay.
Which gets to the other thing.
I tried.
Think of the children.
Exactly. They are our future.
Your kids were on a sports related trip. Do I have that right?
Things you've been learning.
Do I need to describe the music that was being played in the locker room filled with 13-year-olds? Do I?
Probably not.
Probably not. So I think the kids will be fine. The kids will be okay. Don't need any pearl clutching over some cursing with the kids. Come on now. Builds character. From Jacob. Will Smith Pack Pro? Might be. Paul, keep my team out your mouth. Yeah, might be. Anyway, we try to keep the cursing to a minimum, but sometimes it flows. And as somebody pointed out, he's like, hey, based on all the podcasts that I listen to, you guys actually curse the least. Got that going for us. Put that on a t-shirt. Just like I've thought about putting on a t-shirt, Ovies and Giglio, not a state podcast. The problem with that t-shirt is that it would create a meme like thing where it's like a lot of people are asking questions about my shirt that says not a state podcast. Like, why are you saying that? Oh, you're a state podcast. So I was like, on second thought, maybe you don't need to do that. All right, that's going to be it. Joe's done. He hasn't talked for about 10 minutes now.
Not true.
Because the blueberry acai has kicked in. We will see you all for an OG mailbag on OG fans. Big thanks to Nature's Relief for having us out. Great spot. Check out their locations. We're out here in the Oak Ridge Shopping Plaza, Holly Ridge Road, Glenwood.
Come out to Holly Ridge because I don't want you in Garner at Timber Drive taking up my sodas.
Yeah.
Okay. I need my supply in Garner.
Yeah,
So
man.
come on out to Holly Ridge.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. We'll see you next week.